MisFitNation. MisFitNation.
We are a show founded by veterans and hosted by veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the MisFitNation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on, share some of your tips with the audience to help them become better versions of themselves. If you're a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you're a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the MisFitNation. We always have time for you. Reach out, we will get you on. If you are feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle, or are embarrassed to share that with them, please dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make it a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the MisFitNation. Be sure to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at @the_MisFitNation. That's _MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell. This will keep you up to date with all of our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Electrocast Media and About Face Radio. This will keep you up to date to us and learn more about our great guests.
Thanks, Adam Bond, for passing it off to me on About Face Radio. Our next guest here tonight is a veteran journalist. He stays actively involved in broadcasting the overshadowed and undermined history of Haiti. His work depicts perspicacious approaches to extensive research and a deep understanding of human psychology. So without further ado, let's welcome Fritznel Octave to the MisFitNation. Welcome, Fritznel.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk on your show to talk to the world.
That's awesome. I gave a very tiny blurb about you there. I know you have a much longer history than the 2 sentences I just said and kind of butchered a little bit there. But if you want to just share from as far back as you want to go to how we got to what you're doing today, including how you came about writing your book to showcase Haiti and both the triumphs and the tragedies there.
Okay. Normally, from an insider point of view, that's how really I come about writing the book. I was born in Haiti, born and raised up to age 20. I'm 50 years old as of last December.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So I came to the US, I was 28. So that means I spent most of my, more than half of my life in Haiti. I was born in a remote village. I say remote based on the lack of infrastructure, our basic lack of basic service, basic government presence. That's but not because of distance, because Haiti is a tiny place. It's small. It's the size of Maryland.
Okay.
Altogether. So even though you have a lot larger population than Maryland, but then it geographically is not bigger than that. So from one point to another, basically everyone, when you say you're from Haiti, everyone tend to think about Port-au-Prince. Port-au-Prince is where everything happens. That's in terms of the political, socio-economic, everything's basically, in my point of view, everything that goes wrong with Haiti. That's where it happened. But what goes right with Haiti is happening outside of Port-au-Prince. In the rest of the country, it's 95% of the country. So I was born in this a small place called Bombardopolis, which is a sections of the district of Mont Saint Nicolas. Mont Saint Nicolas is where Christopher Columbus landed on the island in December 1492. So they're very close to Cuba, across the passage, the white went, the wide wind passage, by probably give and take 65, 70 miles away from Cuba, from Havana. So that's where I was born and raised to up to age 12. And then due to lack of opportunities for schooling, for a lack of high school. So you have high school age in my time, but now it's a little bit better. But in my time, well, someone I was born in 1972. So when you reach the high school level, that basically there's no school area, a good school in the area for you. You have to look for a larger city where you have a little bit of upscale infrastructure and good school, better teachers, and so on. So that's how I moved from by age 12, 13. I moved to Port-au-Prince, in quest for better educations, and look back of back to my people and my family, so how I can be better off in life, and so I can come back and give them a hand to lift them off poverty. So I'm not talking about poverty in the way the Western world mostly see poverty. So I'm talking about basic thing that people need to live like decent human being, and then like wood, like running water, things that they don't have necessarily, because they it's require human effort, like to put infrastructure in place for those things to come. But naturally, they have the land, they have the good land for agriculture, they have cattle, cow, horses, goats, and a mule, donkeys, and all these things, and good agricultural crop, bananas, and beans, and sorghum. I mean, all the rice, and potato. They have what they need in terms of resources to survive, but it's like mainly for subsistence, because even you could have the best crop season, but then they are wasted because there's no way to transport them to the major marketplace to sell and return, so that money can pour into your kids' education, all that. So all the resources are just wasting. So when I was a kid, like a small kid, 5, 6, 7 year old growing up, I didn't see that way. I was happy. I was enjoying life based on what we have in the area, but I didn't have a sense of, all these resources are wasting here. At some point you may have all you have, and then at another point you have nothing, because there's no way of conservations and transformations and process anything. So for a darker day ahead, so everything come handy in probably 1 or 2 months, and then after that, so you're starving. So I didn't have make a better sense of that until so I reached high school age, and when I was 12, 13, 14 in Port-au-Prince, and I realized that sometimes I'm hungry, but there's plenty of food back home. But then the food cannot reach me because of the lack of infrastructures. If they put the food in the truck, by the time they drive to Port-au-Prince, they're all rotten. So it's like, then I started to think really based on how a disenfranchised, how marginalized the most of the people in the country, even though the country is small, the distance is not that much. The place where I was born and raised is like about 100, give and take 166 miles away from the capital city. But in the US context, if you have a distance between a town about 150, 160 miles away. That's about how 2 hours and a half, and you drive,
Right.
depending on your how you drive, and then you reach. But then, in my context, even if you have the best pickup truck, like 4x4, like a best SUV possible, and you probably I mean, not probably, it's 6-7 hours of driving
Wow.
to get there. No, I mean, is it you shift that to you think about a truck that is loaded with goods to travel that distance, and that's the road conditions, and then you figure out. So it's a tells you all. So at that point, when I get to high school and when I start, this start affecting my life a different way. So I thought, okay, hey, this, no, you know what? People need the voice. They need a voice to speak out their deception, their damnation. So all that, abandonment by their own people, by their own government, by their own the system that's supposed to be designed to serve them, and then not doing so, the failing them from independence from day one. So and then that's when I really started to think about going into journalism, because journalism at the time was a big thing in the radio, because most of Haiti just listen to radio, because they want, and the media industry, they want the people who main players, they want to invest that much in televisions and all the different type of media to make sure they reach everyone, because 90%, 95% of the population just disenfranchised. So just not, they use them when they want, but it's not like when it comes to service, it's almost zero. So everything is Port-au-Prince. It's everything good Port-au-Prince. Everything people can enjoy. When I never seen a television screen until I come to Port-au-Prince at age 12, 13.
Wow.
So it radio. So I say, okay. So the best way to reach them, to reach back home, and make sure that I take their voice and bring it up to the authorities' ears, is to involve in radio and broadcasting, and then community radio system. It was a big deal in the 80s, late 80s to 90s. So, and then that's how I started to get involved in reporting and journalism. And so I went, after I finished, I graduated high school, I entered the university, the State University of Haiti, which is a public using university. So I attended, so I studied communications and get involved in journalism. So, and that's basically the backstory about me. And so I become very aware of what going on in the country as a whole, and then how people get hostage, or how the life of Haitians are great people, a lot of resilient character, and people with good family values and so on, who hard workers, but then they just need a little bit of opportunity, and no one seems to want to give it to them.
Exactly. And I think I told you this when I reached out to you, that in '94 I was at my first military unit in the U.S. Army, and we were
So
getting ready.
you are part of the troops
That were coming into Port-au-Prince.
Port-au-Prince in 1994, to bring Aristide back to power, right?
Right. But I
Okay.
never made it in because of Jesse Jackson and Jimmy Carter. They negotiated peace there, so we got turned back, and just some of our guys went forward. My company went back home, but that was the first time I ever really thought of Haiti in any context. Because growing up in New Jersey, you don't really talk about it until you become a strategic or world stage kind of thing. So that was my first cross with Haiti, and then my second cross with Haiti was a soldier, actually, in a Korea. Great soldier. He became an officer in U.S. Army, but he was also an amazing athlete. I thought he should have went pro in soccer. Rod Joseph, a great young man. doing great
Okay.
things for him, and he loves Haiti. He always talks big about Haiti. He was the first really proud Haitian person I ever
Hmm.
met. It was really
Hmm.
great to know him and still know him today.
So I appreciate you for your service. I mean, not not just in the context of Haiti, but also in the context of America as a whole. Because to me, the United States of America is the best country on the earth in terms of what it's this country project to humanity.
Right.
To what I travel over the years. I travel a lot, and I've been to a lot of different places in every continent. So there's no other country like United States that exists, and then that's partly because of the sacrifice of men and women in uniform. So the fighting for freedom everywhere, and then but you can't just go fight, but you have to project an image. You create a level playing field so that it can transcend, that can travel to the world, and then that's America. Okay, I really appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate your kind words there for us. How often do you get to go back to Haiti, and how much of your family is still there?
When I left Haiti in 2001, basically, I left Haiti in October 2001 because of a situation that happened with the actual government at the time. There was a certain made up event, like supposedly coup d'etat, but then we in the press, in the media, we had reliable sources that was something that planned at the highest level of government, because they wanted to eliminate especially a member of the press, of the media.
Oh wow.
So at that time, I was kind of in the center of situations where I had to try to leave the country for a minute, just to let things calm down and go back, and then that I end up staying forever. And but I spent 7 years in Florida. I never traveled back home, and until 2008, and that's when I started to go back home. From there on, I've been going every year, every other year. I go back. I take my kids with me, and they can see things in a different perspective, instead of the staying in the comfort zone in America. That they can see, how the other world is, and especially where I'm from. So how fortunate they are to be able to get born in a country like the US, and while they could pretty much be born at home back in Haiti, and their life could have been different. So I tend to do every year, but until recently, COVID hit, and then the things shift in different directions and altogether, and plus all this unrest and lockdown, standstill, and Port-au-Prince. Because Port-au-Prince is the main port and airport, international airport, and Port-au-Prince is the main, beside the international airport in Cap Haitian, northern Haiti, like about 200 miles away from Port-au-Prince. So beside that, so you have to go to Port-au-Prince. So I kind of sit back a little bit since 2020. I haven't been back home. So last time was January 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been back, but before that, every year, from 2008, every year, I always go back.
So I love that you said you wanted to bring your children there so they can see not just how you grew up, but how other kids grow up. Not just like
Hmm.
how they have it here in the States, where everything
Hmm.
is basically right there for them as they walk out their door. There's a store down the street, or not that
Yeah,
far. It's easy to
yeah,
get to.
exactly. I have from time to time, I have a lot of explanation to give. So it's plain daylight. The kids supposed to be in school. They playing in the street. I have to explain why this kid are not in school, and what happened. And people go, people selling stuff in the marketplace, and playing, plain view, and so things that's supposed to be in a different condition for sale, the people hygienic condition, but people can consume it. Say, I have to explain. I have to explain. I have to, Yeah, but now they get older a little bit. They get it.
Yeah, so you have to press pause every time you're walking down somewhere. All right, this is what's happening here. It's almost like narrating a
Eat a
story.
banana. Yeah, someone walking on the sidewalk with a banana in their hand, they peel it and then just eat and then throw the skin on the side of the street. They have to explain why they don't put it on the trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to have a tour guide with them that has a lot of history there, 28 years there, to reach back and say, this is how when I grew up, this is what your grandmother and grandfather did with me, and this is how I was taught, and this is our culture. This is what our real culture, not Florida. I mean, Florida, I'm sure you have a good circle there, but it's still not home.
Well, yes, I still have a big. I mean, I come from a very huge family. To make sure story short, I have 12 siblings, but then not I would say half sibling, because I'm the only child born to my mom and my dad together. So my mom has 8 children. The seven other kids, they're not my dad's kid. Okay. And then my dad had 6 of us. So those other 5 are not my mom's.
Wow.
So you see how that. And then the other day I was counting nephews and then nieces. So I found 50.
50.
Yes. So you see.
And how many of them have come to the States, or is an even split kind of Haiti in here?
It's only me, myself, and one of my half sister. That the youngest sister I have, that's the only one that's here with her husband and one child. So anyone else is back home. Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys have to go back with a lot of good stories from how it is up here, and then see how they have it and help them as well.
Oh, definitely.
So you get to actually communicate with them even when you're not traveling to there, to see what's going on and still bring light to it through your
yeah project. And my parents have the opportunity to travel here too, so they see and go back, and so they don't leave everything on my back to carry. Right. So,
and they can check your stories that you're telling your kids, make sure that their stories are better.
Oh yeah. So my son is 14-year-old now. So he plays soccer. He's very good in soccer. And he always coming to my dad and make sure my dad tell him the stories. And I think most of the time he tried to like doing this checking, to see what I said, what I tell them, if it's true or not. It's like double checking.
It's fact checking you.
Fact checking me. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you're in this, are you doing any journalism in stateside for a company here, or freelancing, or are you still?
I mostly freelancing, and then I ever since I came here, I feel like the media here, that's not what I do. The way they do journalism in the US that's not me. I can't do this that way. So it's too much opinion, and mixed up with the news, with the information. Too much. Everyone is a commentator. Everyone is a opinion driven professional. So I'm not. That's not how I learned journalism. So I feel like I try hard. I started to try with Miami Herald and Miami Sun Sentinel and Fort Lauderdale and so on, Bucarton, but then I gave up. So it's that's how I get involved into the business world. So I went back to school and got a business degree, and I work for an insurance company right now as a sales manager. But at the same time, I still get connected with Haiti and try to make sure that the real information get rich people. They need to reach. I get connected. From time to time, I get invited. So I co-host a little bit in some community radio stations and stuff like that, and some podcasts, different program, people streaming online and so on. I participate, but I don't have one set of a program that I'm regular on. So I try to think about setting up a podcast so for me to be more consistent on that.
Right.
But probably that for the future a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll definitely help get your voice to a whole different audience, more than what you do right now. I'm sure you have a good audience that you are able to reach right now. But the podcasting, for me at least, I didn't realize how quick it would go around the world, and it hit. I thought it was right when COVID was going on. So you see on the COVID maps how like the colors are changing as it was spreading. So I was kind of looking at mine to see the colors changing as well.
Exactly.
Changing as well as my podcast went everywhere around the world. So it's pretty cool how small the world is through this media here.
Oh yeah, sure. And then that's how I come up with the idea of writing the book. Because I feel like a lot of stuff that was being said about Haiti, either they have a lot of element of truth to it, but it's not the complete truth, or certain other elements of history that's completely irrelevant or not really the truth. And so certain part of the stories and you see in mainstream media, sometimes they bias and prejudices and not possibly how things happen in the real world in that country. So, and then a lot of things are misrepresented. So you have the majority, the most part of the country where things don't really work the way it's supposed to because people just left alone. They do just try to a different struggle by themselves. They don't have support. There is no support system around them. I'm talking about the government institutions that really well equipped and well organized, well structured to support people. Now you don't have that, and then because you don't have that, it look like those people are so poor. But then there's plenty of resources and that just wasting. So I feel like someone need to raise this, ignite that debate and open up and show the world a little bit better than they are accustomed to, or they know better than what they know from this mainstream media or some foreign historian, not necessarily really understand the context of things, just put things out there based on their own perspective. So me, as someone who really lived it, just write a book that people can really get the real information.
That's exactly right. And you brought up a very big point there about mainstream media and how they're professional men and women, but when they sign that contract to be with X, Y, or Z, they got to go with the beliefs of X, Y, and Z. They can't have their own.
Oh yeah, they tie to that company, and then they lose all this sense of independence and their mind.
Right. So they have to write along those lines, or they get disappeared. Basically, you don't see them ever again.
Yeah, you see, if they're ugly, the negativities, and that's what is sold in those media settings. So, and there is not the fault of the reporters per se to do that, but because they tired, they bond with a contract to just do that. And even though they probably have their heart at doing the right thing, but they can't the exact punch that. Right. So that's why I feel like, okay, there's something here I can do independently because I'm not tied to any contract with anybody. I can freely speak my mind. And then that's the greatest thing about America, because back home, when I try, and then I was in danger.
Right. Exactly. And now you're on the other side. You're able to highlight everything as the truth is.
Yes.
And show that bright light. As an independent journalist, it's a lot easier for you to do that. If you I mean, you know, there's a lot of aid
Yeah.
agencies that go to Haiti and they highlight when something bad happens. They all say, "We're here, we're here, we're here." Like when the earthquake occurred, everyone was saying, "Oh, we're
Mhm.
here." Every
Yeah.
agency was there. But then, you know, as the news cameras move away, you don't know who's there anymore. But I know there's still a lot that go down there.
No.
There's still a lot of mission trips that go there to help people. If you could
Oh
reach
yeah.
out and say, "Hey, this is what we need in Haiti right now," what would be your top three things for aid agencies to bring down there?
The first of all is education,
Okay.
because despite all the school we have, but the system is so broken. It's so broken. It's so designed to fail the kids so much that we need to revamp that. Transform that system. Look, anyone that want to help, so that's one area they can come in and so change their mindset about the education system. Push people in power and position to lead, to do the right thing in favor of that. Let me use an example, you kind of got where I come from on that. Haitian the education system the Haitian people inherit is an imported system from France. The colonial power we defeated in 1804 to become independent as a nation. So that system is designed to fail the kids if you part of the majority, except for a tiny elite that uh, who identify themselves as European. That system served to the best, but for the majority, is a system designed to tend to speak a language that they never spoke before in their lifetime. That Haiti is probably the only country in the entire Americas where the education system is in a foreign language, which is French.
Wow.
So how you think that someone going to go to a system education and get the best of it foreign language? That's the problem.
Right.
That's one area really you rarely hear people talk about. So a lot of people from the elite in Haiti, they will brag about how great the education system, is, how strong Haitian school is. No, because a few guys, few people, people like me, like others, in my generations, we fought the system and then we overcome and we get education. But how many millions are there who didn't have a privilege we have, and then they never get through that system because this is hard,
Right.
so hard. So the kids with learning disability will be brushed aside, but they think that, oh, you stupid, you cannot learn anything. In any society, how many kids with learning disability in any society in the world, any country you take, you name a country, you run the statistics, you run a survey, you run a study, you see how many kids. So all these kids in Haiti will be brushed aside from generation to generation.
Wow.
Okay, so all because the system is designed that way. It's designed for people that probably at the time they get to kindergarten, they probably already know a million words in French.
Wow.
So if you're not from the tiny elite, economic elite, or cultural elite, social elite, political elite, to be able to have your mom and dad speaking French with you from the time you're born to the time you enter in school, so it's difficult. It's
Yeah.
extremely difficult. And then they will West in my time, they will punish you if you cannot speak French in the school. Teachers will punish you. They beat you up.
Wow.
For speaking a language other than French, which is your vernacular, that what you learn at home, where you speak with your mom and dad, with your siblings. You cannot speak that in school. Because that's quote unquote classified as a bad language. Right. A language of people, uneducated people, a language of poor people, a language of people with no class. That's how bad it is. And then to this day, I'm telling you, man, to this day, it's still like that. That's why when a Haitian person really get to fight the system and then get to a certain level of education, by that time they already get filled with brainwash, that prejudice, and now they don't want to speak Creole anymore. I don't. In my book, I contest the word Creole. I don't want to call it Creole. Because for the context, they call it Creole. It's basically a kind of diminishing the value of that language and how of forefathers they fought to have an instrument to be able to communicate among themselves, really well articulated, well in written form and in oral form. So they call it Creole as in the context of the European comment, and they see something that different than what they used to in Europe, and then they put it in a lower classification, like something bad, like something that is not of value. So, but I call it Haitian because Americans speak American. If you go to England, so you have an American accent, they tell you, oh, you speak American.
Right.
And then if you go to France, they would say people there, they speak French. Okay? They don't tell you you speak something else. Or if a German, you name it. You Spanish, you speak Spanish. You're from Spain, you speak Spanish. So why we are ashamed to say we speak Haitian? So right. I call it Haitian. I don't call it Creole. So that's what 100% of people speak it. Been from the elite, from anyone, everyone speak it, but only about 5 to 10% of the population speak French. So why you have to impose French on the education system? That's one thing. That's one part that people can help. And then the other part people can help is health. Health for everyone equally. Not the privileged few, but everyone. I'm talking about that, but it's one story that the media don't talk about. It's after the earthquake. We have an American doctor, an anthropologist doctor by the name of Paul Farmer. He died recently, but this guy, Haitian, this guy the world. He came to Haiti, and then he participated in his construction to an organization he co-founded with some other partners. So they call Partners in Health. This organization, the organization Partners in Health, they build the best hospital that Haiti ever known. We have a central hospital in Port-au-Prince, like a referral hospital with that state. At the time when they built that in the 60s, they call it a state-of-the-art hospital on the Duvalier and so on. But then, which become nothing today. So to serve the population. So this hospital, and then about close to let's say about 100 miles from Port-au-Prince, they build that hospital there. So it's a reference, state of the art. 300 rooms for admission, about 200 over 200 square feet, 200,000 square feet, over 200,000 square feet, and then with all this, a room for a lot of offices in there in that building, in that hospital building for doctors, and for they have conference room for for training, for a lot of activities going on with really good quality care. So this is a model that can be replicated around the country. And then he didn't, so, believe it or not, he didn't inherit a penny from all the money the crooks raised to help Haiti because of the earthquake. So he probably went through his partnership with different philanthropists, and he raised money independently from all the money, all the $13 billion that people raised to help rebuild Haiti when the earthquake, and nothing happened.
Wow.
And then so he built a hospital there, and then said this is worth for anyone that interested and see how progress look like in a country like Haiti, need to travel there. The place, the city, the town where is at a little bit northern Haiti called Mir. It's a kind of, they call it in Haiti, they call that Central Plateau, because it's an area where we have a huge plateau and the Artibonite River, which is where we have the huge dam built in the 50s by the former president Paul-Jean Magloire to electrify Haiti. So that when you cross that dam and then probably about 50 miles away, I mean, even less than that, and you reach to Mibale, and then that's where the hospital is.
Wow.
So servicing the entire Haiti, wherever you are, and you come and welcome, like with a little to not no space at all to get quality care.
That's how.
So these are stories that you want to be the world to know, not like when you have an earthquake or you have you have a hurricane, and then everybody talking about it, blah blah blah, like the countries they welcome into an end in Haiti, or gangs and this and that and kidnappings, because you kidnap one person to it because of a bad drug deal that happened, and then kidnapping happens, and they would talk about it like the whole country is in kidnapping, and which is not true. It's a little section in Port-au-Prince where these crooks, they're doing their thing politically, economically, and all that, and then all this thing clashing, all these different interests clashing in there. Okay, not that the country doesn't have problem. That's not what I mean. There's a problem, but then it's not to the extent that most people talking about in the international media.
Right.
But the good stories happening everywhere in remote area in terms of lack of government presence, and how everything is centralized in Port-au-Prince. So, but nobody talk about all these different missions. I am a product of mission, because if it was not for North American missionaries like the Southern Baptist missionaries, from America, from North America, Canada, and US alike. So probably I wouldn't be here talking to you. I'll probably be a different person, very like so many unprivileged in Haiti. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're very early on. And at my time when I attended school age, there was no government school, no public school in my area. It's only in the few schools that were there is mission school, Protestant and Catholic alike. Just missionary come in there, see these good people, they fall in love with the people, they feel like they cannot leave them, and then they start doing things. They travel back to the States, back to Canada, but then bring more people with them, and then build stuff, school. Even though it's in a perspective, in the context of evangelization, so gospel, but it's still as a whole beneficial to the people, to young kids like me, where I wouldn't have a place to go to school. So I will go from kindergarten and go and then up to high school, and before I could, but my parents couldn't save enough to send me to continue my education in Port-au-Prince. So a lot of good stuff happened, a lot of good groups coming from everywhere to help. But the problem is so humongous.
Right.
So it's like you take a drop of water, and then you take that drop and you drop it in the ocean. So you feel like, okay, it will never be enough. Or you try to fill a bucket with a little sip of water from your thumb. So how long it will take you to realize that dream? So that's basically what it is. But that doesn't mean there's not good stuff happening. People doing things that really benefits people, and then that's why I always where has come from. When I tell people, when people ask me how really we can help Haiti, I say if you want to really have Haiti, involved with grassroots organization, people really on the ground that have put their boot on the ground, where people have needs and then they're there with them, suffering the lack of infrastructure, lack of everything, the basic that human being should need to make with your hand to make life better. So go there, talk to these people, ask them what they need. Find those community organizations that on the ground there. Don't go to the all big multinationals, USA, then this and that, then your UN agency system, all these different programs. Don't go to them because the money, the millions this organization receive, they don't go to the real people. What they go to crooks, to politicians, to people, lobbyists, the money go to logistics, heavy luxury lifestyle for so-called the helpers and people that come and that they call them technicians or agents, and they will come into the country, just drain the money. It's like the money from one pocket and then go back to the other pocket, and they never reach the people.
It's three great things you brought up there, Fritznel. Education, that's I think top for many countries around the world. Healthcare, also, that's a big one. And I really like that last one you said, go and help with grassroots organizations so the help is actually getting there. Fritznel, thanks for joining us tonight on the Misfit Nation. How does someone get in contact with you or find out more about what you're doing and maybe jump in and help you with your projects?
I have a website. It's very simple because I made it purposely so people can reach me very easily. It's on my name, fritzneloctave.com. If you go, you land into that page, my webpage, you find ton of contents and information, not just my book Haiti Between Pestilence and Hope. Not just that book you can get acquainted with, but also other great contents I put on the website, on the blog, so people can get to understand better, understand Haitian better, why Haitian leave home to go to migrate to the United States, to Canada, to South America, to Latin, some places, other places in the Caribbean, and especially the Dominican Republic, which is basically the same land. It's one line, one border in between us. So history split us, but then we one people. Look, how you understand all this. So you will find this on my website, fritzneloctave.com. And also my book is on Amazon, on Barnes and Nobles, and every major online retailers where books are sold. They can find my book, go by my name or by the title, Haiti Between Pestilence and Hope. Also, all the different social media platforms, LinkedIn, on there, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So if you Google my name alone, so you be able to get in touch with me, and we can go about in how, if anyone want to do something positive for Haiti, and how I can direct them to the right channels and do things to benefit some people.
Outstanding. Thank you for taking some of your time tonight and to hang out with the Misfit Nation.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. As I said before, Doc, it's a great privilege to be with you today.
Awesome, and have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. It's themisfitnation.com to catch up on all of our episodes and also to get some of that great Misfit Nation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are